Hello, people of Houston. Very commonly people walk into our office dealing with headaches. Now, headaches can be a lot of different things. They could be headaches behind your eyes, it can be headaches that show up here, much more like an allergy headache. They can be the tension, the stress headaches, the ones that show up here. But more often than not, what I see here, 9 times out of 10, are headaches that are at the back of your head. So if you've got one of those, raise your hand now, because chances are it's because you're doing this very thing. You're sitting here on your phone or on your computer, and this headache at the back of your head is almost 100% related to your posture. How you deal with posture, how you choose to change your posture and fix your bad posture will completely change your life. It helps you get rid of these headaches. So think about your head like a bowling ball. Your head sits there resting on your neck. It weighs anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds. And if it is directly over your spine acts like a big spring, like a big shock absorber, and it's able to hold that up. But if you're to start to take that bowling ball and roll forward, like we do when we look down, now all the stress, all the tension here is at the neck and the upper back. And those muscles all here attached to the back of your head, and they're just pulling and pulling and pulling until it leads to the headache. And then it requires you to change something, right? You'll maybe take an Advil, you'll take a Tylenol, you'll rest, you'll get some ice on it. Most importantly, you will change what you're doing. You will not continue to sit there on the computer. You will not sit there and look down at your phone because you've got the headache, and you will change your activity. Once you've modified your activity and you're resting, then the muscles start to calm down, they start to relax, and then that headache goes away. But very often this problem becomes chronic when you're doing the same activities all day long. So if you're sitting in front of that computer all day long, and then you're on your phone on your lunch break, and then you go to a spin class and you hunch over more, your neck muscles are under a tremendous amount of stress, and they continue to yank and pull at the back of the head, causing that headache. Recently, we've really noticed that when we take an x-ray, that there's a bone spur even forming here at the back of the head that really should not be there. It's only forming because the tendons of those muscles there are starting to calcify and get so rigid, getting so hard, that it's causing even more pressure. And it just lets us know that this person is under a tremendous amount of pressure and strain on their neck and head all day, every day, so much so that their body has started to adapt by calcifying certain tendons in order to allow you to continue to hold your head up. So think about if you had something that you had that was 10 pounds, and you're going to have to carry that around all day long, just like your neck has to hold up your head. Well, if you did that and you held it close to your body, you could do that all day long without much trouble. But if instead you had to hold it out, eventually your arms would fail and they would drop it. Well, luckily for you, when your neck gets tired, it doesn't just drop your head, and you don't just slump over there because your neck can no longer hold it up. So it's misleading. You would know if you're holding something out to let it go, or that you needed a break. But when it comes to our neck and our head, instead, we just continue to work. It starts to tighten, it starts to tense up. And it's only by alleviating that pressure that headache can go away. So at Core Chiropractic, we look at this 3 ways, or we take care of it one of 3 ways. And so the first, of course, is alignment. So we want to make sure that all the joints of the spine are in their right place, and that they're moving and functioning the way that they're supposed to. For most of the patients dealing with that back of head headache, it literally is their head that's crooked. It's the skull sitting on that very first vertebrae. It shifts out of place. When they lay down on the table, I can look at them and I can see that their head is like that, or it's shifted and rotated in that way. So we will do an adjustment in that area and allow their head to rotate back into that right position. That's almost instant relief in most cases. But we'll also look at their neck, their back, and we do believe in doing full spine adjustments. But just taking care of that one, if we're specifically talking about that pain or that pressure at the back of your head, will take care of a lot of problems. But that's only going to get us so far if you're going to return to doing all the same bad activities once again, which most people are. So the next focus is flexibility. So flexibility means we're going to stretch the front of your neck. Whereas most people, when they're stretching their neck, they do one of these numbers where they pull down because it feels so much better when the blood flow happens on the back of their neck. but instead you're making things much, much worse. So we want to stretch the front of that neck. And it's really easy to stretch this way and do a little bit of stretching this way to help out. And then the third part is you want to get stronger. So you have to build up the muscles at the back of your neck if you expect there to ever be any type of lasting change at all. It would make no sense to do an arm thing all day long. If your job required you to pull a lever or do something like that, and you didn't get a stronger arm, eventually something's going to break. Well, here we have this neck that is under tremendous amounts of pressure, and it's leaning forward all day long. Yet when we go to the gym, when we do our exercises, rarely do I find any patients doing any kind of neck exercises at all. So instead, we introduce specific posture exercises to help the back of your neck get stronger. And really, the easiest stuff is to lay face down. That will use your head like a weight and look up several times slowly, and you'll feel that tension start to go away as more blood flow goes into that muscle and it starts to get stronger. If you can preemptively start doing the neck exercises and preventatively do the stretches, and then get your spine in alignment so you're not just strengthening a neck and stretching a neck that's still completely out of alignment, the headaches at the back of your head should easily start to go away. If you don't do these things, more often than not, the headaches continue to get worse and worse and worse until you eventually take action on one of those steps. What I hope that you never do is become dependent on Tylenol, which becomes toxic in your body after a few weeks, or Advil, which can start to affect your stomach lining, or just giving up and assuming that headaches are just a part of your life now and you're always going to have to deal with that. If instead your focus was, how can I make a structural change to make this better, then headaches at the back of your head are one of the easiest things to help get rid of if you know what to do. But now you know. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, message us here on this page. You can email us or visit our website at corechiropractic.net. I will see you on our next Facebook Live. Take care.